Welcome back, one and all, to Let's Play Shadowrun Dragonfall, the Director's Cut. Since last time, I went ahead and selected our specialties. Iger, I gave Sniper Specialist 1. Glory, I gave Razor Specialist 1, because I'm going to transition Glory from being a ranged fighter to up front with Griffin as a close-range medic and kind of support character for him. At least that's how I'm seeing using her, so I think I'm going to use her hand razors more often. And Dietrich, I went ahead and gave him Meltdown, which will strip 1 armor from affected targets when I use the Electrocore spell. Griffin, I spent his karma as well, and I gave him a point in throwing weapons, a couple points of intelligence and biotech, and a point in Kai casting, or chi casting, so that he was a little bit more effective. Anyway, let's talk to Paul. We got that DVD player last time. Let's give it to him. Seems that Amsel has assembled the team in your absence. They stand in a group around the old display that you had Melit deliver. On their faces you could see excitement and apprehension, curiosity and dread. Griffin, have you procured a DVD reader? I have, it's right here. Good, this should only take me a moment. Amsel disappears behind the ancient display. After a few minutes of fiddling with its battered inputs, he reappears with a satisfied look on his face. Wonder if it's HDMI or RCA. Everything appears to be functional. The disc should be ready to play. Well, don't keep us in suspense. Start the damn thing already. Griffin went to the trouble of fetching everything. Let him do the honors. Amsel steps back, clearing a path for you to access the antique machine. Apparently, the DVD player is all the way over here. A soft whirring sound fills the air as the ancient DVD player spins the disc up to speed. The scratched LCD display comes to life, and a menu fills the screen. Start with track 1. The screen goes black, and a cheerful digital chiming sound spills out of the display's speakers. A crackle of static fills the air, coupled with a shrill electronic whine. After a few moments, the display goes live, and a disheveled-looking man appears on the screen. His eyes glitter with excitement. The timestamp on the screen is 2034, September 15th. Hermie, I think we found her. After all this time. Verschwinge, I knew that she wasn't dead. His speech is jittery. You can hear the urgency in his voice. She survived the Dragonfall, just as I've always said. I knew it, and I was right. The screen explodes into static, and the electronic whine in the background sharpens into a needle-like pulse of high-pitched sound. Somewhere in the background, Dante lets out a low whimper. The screen clears, and the excited face is closer to the screen than it was before. The words spill out of him in a breathless tide. Taking a team into the SOX to retrieve her. The radiation be damned. We will take appropriate precautions, of course, but we must go. Hermie, we think that the body may be nearby as well. Somehow she has survived all this time. Screen explodes into static again, then clears. The flickers across the screen. May not be back for some time. Look after Mom, okay? I worry about her. And Hermie, stay safe out there. I know that things are heating up in Berlin, and I know you. Student protests, civil uprising. You'll be in the middle of it, I'm sure. Just stay safe, all right? And I'll do my best to do the same. I don't know what's going to happen when I step into the SOX, but I do know one thing. If the Fire Wing is still a danger, I will put an end to her, once and for all. The display goes black. The background whine fades away. A moment later, you find yourself deposited back at the menu. Track 2, please. Screen goes black for a moment. Then a figure appears on the screen. Your late client, Green Winters. His elbow is planted on the table that he's seated at, and his chin rests on his palm. The other hand is wrapped around a bottle of cheap whiskey. Timestamp on the video is 2053, December 25th. Found the message Adrian left me all those years ago, got it cleaned up as best I could. Strange hearing his voice again. He pauses to take a long pull on the bottle. It's good to hear him, even if he did insist on calling me Hermie. Dr. Adrian Vauclair, the hero of the people, the dragon slayer, my brother. He grimaces and rubs his eyes. Hard to believe it's been almost 20 years. Alright, so I'm going to start recording these DVDs again. For me. For Adrian. Whoever might end up watching them. Every time I do this winds up feeling like a waste of time, but I keep doing it anyway, on the off chance that I'll find something important. If I stumble into the clue that leads me to my brother, I know that I'm going to want it on film. I've been doing this for almost 20 years now, after all. No sense in quitting now. 20 years. All this time and still no leads, even with all of my contacts and my resources. He takes another long swallow of cheap liquor. Even with my legendary bullheadedness, I've made no progress at all. I haven't even turned up a single thing. Want to hear something funny? The closest I've gotten to a clue was a rumor. Apparently a team emerged from the SOX a while back. Nobody's clear on the date, but, and get this. He leans into the camera and gives a conspiratorial wink. Supposedly they vanished without a trace. He upends the bottle, drains it, slams it back down to the table. His eyes are rimmed with red. Not much of a rumor, considering I already know that you're gone, big brother. I live with that every day. Abruptly, Winters leans forward and reaches for something off screen. The display goes black. Seconds later, the main menu returns. Play track 3. There's a grinding sound from the DVD tray, and Green Winter's image appears on the screen. There is an eager look on his face. Timestamp on the video reads 2054-10-12. So, October 12th, 2054. Stumbled upon this archival footage of Firewing's original attack, months before the Dragonfall. Easy to forget how devastating it was. Adrian saved a lot of people by bringing her down. I've got the footage all queued up to play. Starting it now, additional comments to follow. Slow whir of the DVD player shifts to a high-pitched whine. A distorted, wavering image blooms into being on the screen. A timestamp in the upper right corner of the screen marks the date. July 6th, 2012. It's difficult to make out what you're seeing at first, especially since the game just zoomed all the way out. The scene is dark and smoky, and the telltale flashes of emergency vehicle lights flicker on the periphery of the screen. The camera pushes in, and you can make out two figures standing in a ruined landscape. All at once, the sound cuts in. Again, for those of you just joining us, we are coming to you live from Stolberg. A few hours ago, the dragon, Firewing, launched an unprovoked attack on this sleepy Harz mountain town, and you can see the results behind me. Fire, ashes, and blood. We are joined tonight by a survivor of this latest and most horrifying attack. The reporter turns to face a pale man standing behind him. Sir, I understand that you've been through a terrible ordeal. Thanks for taking the time to speak with us tonight. Yeah, of course. The camera switches focus to a middle-aged man with a haunted look in his eyes. If you could, sir, could you please tell the people at home about your experience of the attack? It was horrible. Just pure chaos. So many people are dead. People I knew, roasted alive or trampled to death trying to escape. My own house was burned to the ground during the attack. My family, we have nothing now. You made it all through the attack, though? Your wife? Your kids? Yeah, we all made it. Thank God. We rode out the attack in a small shelter. Me, my wife, and our 2 daughters. The shelter, it protected us, but the heat was just unbearable. We couldn't have stayed in there much longer than we did. How long were you holed up in there? 3, maybe 4 hours? I don't know. We just stayed inside until the heat died down and the screaming stopped. And what happened after that? When it was over, when the air cooled down, the reporter nods, the man continues. We stepped outside. There was nothing left, just smoldering wreckage, and this dense cloud of black, oily smoke, and the stench in the air. Oh, God, that smell. It smelled like roasting meat. There is a long pause. From the tortured look on his face, you can tell that the man is struggling to decide whether or not to continue speaking. Eventually he does, after Rogue interjects that, cannibals call humans, long pig, for a reason. My girls, they found what was left of their nanny outside. Her body, what was left of it, was slumped against the shelter door. I kept telling myself that I couldn't hear her pounding to get in, but that isn't true. I could. Just couldn't bring myself to open that door. Couldn't risk my family like that. Not for her. Not for anyone. Thank you, sir, for taking the time to speak with us. Yeah. You heard it here. An absolutely chilling account of tonight's attack. Again, the town of Stolberg has been reduced to ash, another victim of the Firewing. Stay with us for more up-to-the-minute reporting on Firewing's Reign of Terror. Still can't zoom in. Green Winter's face reappears on the screen. Okay, it's time for a new approach. Adrian's in a complete dead end. That much is pretty clear by now. So I'm going to do some digging on Firewing instead. Let's see where this goes. The screen abruptly goes black as the video cuts off. A few moments later, you find yourself returned to the menu. Track 4. The DVD player ramps up to speed, filling the air with a shrill whining sound. This doesn't sound good for our DVD player. Green Winter's image appears on the screen. The timestamp on this video reads 2054, October 31st. Well, that was a bust. Little progress on Firewing either. Shake his head. I don't know, it's weird. Information's out there, it's just wrong somehow. Too well laid out, too simple. Real life is messy, and this feels just a little too neat. It's not the only thing that's nagging at me. I'm getting this tingly feeling all up and down the back of my neck again. Feels like I'm being tracked. I'm no Matrix hotshot like Clockwork or Schaefer, but I'm good enough to know when someone's on my scent. Gotta install some new security measures. Can't be too careful. Winter's image disappears, display goes black. Seconds later, the menu returns. Track 5. The display goes blank for a moment. Then the face of Green Winters winks onto the screen. He's seated at the computer off to his left. An enormous monitor fills the screen. His voice carries an edge of panic. Timestamp 2054, November 9. God. I'm getting too close to something. There's a trail of bodies and there have been disappearances. Gearbox, Marcian, Harebrained. They've all just disappeared within the past few years. Gearbox went AWOL yesterday. They were all making the same sorts of inquiries about Firewing that I have been. There are ghost stories spreading around the Decker community. Stories about Deckers disappearing and then showing up again later, but wrong somehow. Scary stuff, and I'm starting to think that it's true. Blitz leans in to whisper. I know the stories he's talking about, Chief. Never really put much stock in them. Not until now. Could these rumors be related to what's happening here? Am I being paranoid? You're not paranoid if they're following you. He pauses for a moment, as if seriously considering the question, then shakes his head and slams his fist on the table. No, I don't think so. Something big is happening here. Right in the middle of it. That's a bit of a leap. Okay, Iger, calm down. One other thing. Tolstoy told me a story about a kill team that might be related to all this. Apparently a Decker named Hellebore posted a theory about Firewing to the Shadowland BBS about 5 years ago. An hour later, The mil-spec team showed up in meat space and cooked her entire apartment with her in it. If what Tolstoy told me was true, Helibor live posted the event. She described her killer, this great big orc with skin grafts. We know that guy. Then the whole thread disappeared. Gone without a trace. Leap, Tiger Love? Sounds like he's on the right track to me. Iger holds her silence, but concedes the point with a small nod. On the screen, Winters pauses. He looks like he's working up to something. Finally, he speaks. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. This has got to be about Fireshwing. All of it. Adrian was right about her. She's still alive, and she's out of the SOX. She's covering her tracks, working the shadows, preparing to rise again. That means I have to find you, Adrian. For everyone's sake. Thankfully, I've got a lead. For the first time in 2 decades, I've got a solid, dang lead. Backtraced all of the Matrix nodes that Helibor was looking into back before she got cooked. Whoever's been purging the Matrix didn't think about that. And I found that she'd turned up. Winter stabs a few keys on his keyboard. An image expands to fill the screen of his monitor. A satellite photo of a rural landscape, annotated with GPS data. A set of map coordinates. So now I've got a target, a place to start digging. The Harfield Manor, conveniently located on an isolated stretch of countryside miles away from prying eyes. Matrix records indicate that some sort of data vault exists beneath the estate. So that's what I need to get into. And this is where we came in. As if on cue, a familiar image winks onto the monitor to Winter's left. It's Monica. I think I'm gonna tap Schaefer for this job. She's got the skills to bypass whatever security they're running out there, and she's gullible enough to take the job in the first place. I'll feed her some line about Flux State security, and she'll eat it up with a spoon. I warned her. Mamsel's voice is choked with rage. Warned her. On the display, Winter's mouth parts into a broad grin. Time to put plans into motion. By this time tomorrow night, I should have the information that I need. And on the off chance that Schaefer gets taken out, well, that'll tell me something too. Can't make an omelet and all that. Until then. Winter's image disappears. The display goes black. A few seconds later, the main menu returns, and Griffin slowly unclenches his fist. When you play the 6th track, a small video window appears. You recognize the scene in the window. You are looking at the tattered drapes and nicotine-stained wallpaper of Winter's hotel room at Dusk Kessel House. Timestamp on the video reads 2054, November 10. There's a blur of motion and the haggard form of Green Winters lumbers into frame. Suspicions confirmed. Schaefer dead. Christ. Winters reaches a shaking hand off camera. A moment later, he returns, clutching a cheap plastic drinking glass. He gulps something down, wipes his mouth with the back of his hand and takes a deep breath. Okay. Back up. Slow down. Start from the beginning. Winters closes his eyes and makes a visible effort to calm himself. When he speaks again, his voice is steady. Got the call from my contact in the cruise bazaar. Schaefer Schaefer killed on the estate run. Cooked what is also an accurate term. Matrix security at the estate cooked her brain. Considering Schaefer's skill and experience, on-site IC must have been extreme, even by Berlin standards. Security of that kind costs money. Real money. Given the evidence uncovered so far, corporate involvement is unlikely. The connection to the Fire Wing is too strong. So, let's come right out and say it. The dragon is what we're dealing with here, and the smart money says that she's coming for me next. Well, I won't go down without a fight. I've still got my contacts, still got connections, and the flux state can be a hell of a weapon for the man who knows how to manipulate it. Winters takes another long pull from his glass, grimaces, and swallows. Time for me to make my play. Ghost stories or no, missing deckers or no, I've got to jack into the Matrix and start pulling strings. Countermeasures that I installed earlier should be more than enough to keep me safe for the 20 minutes I'll be in there. Winters drains the rest of his glass and then tosses it back over his shoulder. A moment later, you hear the dull clattering sound of hard plastic on linoleum. Schaefer's death was tragic. She was a staunch supporter of the F state. But still, all things considered. Winters fishes for something off screen. A moment later, his hand reappears clutching a data jack cable. Better her than me. Plugs the cable into his head, and the screen cuts to static. Eject the DVD. As your finger nears the eject button, a black screen cuts over the static. A moment later, Green Winter's haggard face appears. If you're watching this, then I guess they caught up to me. They will be after you too now. Litz whispers into your ear, more harshly this time. The hell is this? Why didn't you warn me about this before I came here? Tempting. We didn't know. Not exactly. Not exactly? I didn't come here to get hunted by a dragon. Not even part of this. You are now, whether you like it or not, so quiet down and stop bothering him. Whoever you are, whatever you think you're after, you need to find Dr. Adrian Vauclair. Not because he's my brother. Because if Firewing is rising again, he's the only one who can stop her. You've seen what happens to people who get too close to this. I'm dead, and dozens of others have died. You'll be next, unless you can find Adrian. Screen cuts back to static, the message is over, the DVD tray slides out of the reader. Whew! Well, that was something. The room goes quiet as everyone struggles to process what you've just seen on the DVD. Finally, Dietrich breaks the silence. A dragon? Son of a diddly. Green Winter set us up against a dragon. The Firewing. Amsel's voice is thick with dread. She lives. Yeah, I'm really starting to regret the fact that I didn't just stay at the hotel. Wait a second. We don't know for certain. Dietrich lays a hand on Iger's shoulder. The evidence seemed pretty convincing to me, love. I'll even take it a step further. I think that secret facility we stumbled into was her lair. Room falls silent. Iger and Glory exchange glances. After a moment, Dietrich continues. Just think about it. The decker that Winters got those coordinates from was posting about Firewing. Then she was killed by that same orc that attacked us after Monica died. There's a direct link between the dragon, the scarred orc, and Harfield Manor. And then Winters was killed by the same thing that killed Monica. Exactly. My gut tells me the dragon is down there, Griffin. Someplace far beneath the surface. I think we knocked on the door to her lair without even knowing it. And I think that, given what we've seen, the dragon will do whatever it takes to keep us quiet about it. Okay. Going on the assumption there is a dragon and that she will come after us, what do you propose that we do about it? No, that is not what Griffin would say. Anyone have any suggestions? What we need is information. I think that we should pick up where Winter's left off. We need to find Vauclair. And how are you planning to do that? Winter spent 20 years searching for him, and it got him nowhere.
With the help of an information broker.
Let me guess. Back to the coffee shop.
For this? No. Well, Atlas is very capable. A task of this magnitude is beyond him. We need to make contact with the premier information broker in Berlin. We need to talk to Alice.
Alice? Best of luck. And I hope that you're rich.
For this? Rich enough. Even if only just.
Who is this Alice?
A prominent figure in Berlin's shadow community. Ex-Schockwellenreiter.
Yeah. No.
She provides information retrieval services for the F-State.
Amsel turns to the computer console behind him and runs his figures over a virtual keyboard. The machine begins to hum.
If Winters was right, if Vauclair is still alive, she can help us find him.
Console spits out a stick of black plastic. Amsel plucks it from the computer and hands it to you.
Yeah, your key to speak with Alice.
A cred stick? Amsel nods.
An encoded cred stick, yes. 10,000 Nuyen. Alice will not show her face for less. This represents the last of my personal savings, Griffin. Make this meeting count.
10,000 Nuyen just to talk to her.
Amsel nods. Her standard fee. Alice is in a position to ask it, and we are in no position to argue. Just like I said, why doesn't anyone listen to me?
Where do I need to go?
Take the U-Bahn to Altstadt Spandau. There you will find a connecting tube that leads to the locals refer to as the rabbit hole. You will find a method of contacting Alice in there.
Does it involve eating a mushroom that shrinks us? Or following a white rabbit?
Don't call it that in front of her, though. The word on the street is that she hates it.
Note to self, keep the Lewis Carroll references to yourself.
Please hurry. While you're out, I will be working on acquiring new contracts for the team. Alice is the best there is at what she does, and her services carry a price tag to match.
Understood. Let's check our computer right quick. I don't think there's anything else that we can do. No new messages. I don't think we have any pay data to... Yeah. Alright. Okay. Do we need to do anything in our stash? I don't think we do. You know what? I'm gonna toss a concussion grenade and a flashbang grenade. I need a trauma kit. And I think I'm gonna put another basic med kit in my inventory. And we'll head over to the U-Bahn. I won't pause the recording, this shouldn't take too long. Are we going by ourselves? Huh. Arcade machine. The only active console is this derelict span... Sorry. Let me try this again. The only active console in this derelict span of the U-Bahn platform is an old video arcade machine. The CRT monitor set into the machine's cabinet glows invitingly. Cheerful pixelated graphics swirl and dance on the screen. Investigate. At the base of the controller panel, you find a cleverly hidden input port. The port is shrouded in black plastic and appears to be the approximate shape of a typical cred stick. Well, let's put in the encoded cred stick. Internal motors grip the cred stick and pull it into the machine. Disappears into the port, and the screen goes black. Moments later, a video image fills the screen. Picture is dark and grainy, a far cry from the bright, colorful sprites that previously inhabited the display. On the screen is a dimly lit office. The place looks like it was pulled straight from an old detective movie. From the Venetian blinds on the windows to the great swaths of shadow that paint the walls black. Center stage, sitting behind a large mahogany desk, is the silhouette of an impressive-looking woman in a charcoal gray suit. The tip of a cigarette glows cherry red in the shadows. She leans forward into the light, and you catch your first glimpse of Alice. Her face is all hard planes and sculpted angles, with high cheekbones and almond eyes. Her lips are painted a frigid blue, but the look in her eyes is even colder. Head of lustrous black hair is interspersed with flowing streams of cyan light. Phoenix, you're not stealing her look. No. I don't think we could do LED. I don't think LED extensions exist. Here's where I'm going to be proven wrong in the comments. Alice exhales a plume of smoke, then tips her cigarette into a nearby ashtray. She fixes her eyes on you. Her lips curl into a humorless smile. We're on your dime, friend. Tell me what you're looking for. I need you to find someone for me. Dr. Adrian Vauclair. She raises an eyebrow.
Dragon Slayer. Interesting. He's been missing for a long time.
I'm surprised that you recognize the name.
Trivia is a passion of mine.
She taps a painted fingernail to her temple.
In my line of work, it comes in handy.
Charming. Alice steeples her fingers.
All right. Here's how this is going to work. When you give me the go-ahead, I'm going to start gathering information for you. Once I've finished, you're going to bring me a cred stick encoded with an encryption key that I'll provide to you. That cred stick will have 50,000 new yen on it. When I get my cred stick, you get your information. This is the deal. Take it or leave it.
All right, you've got a deal. We're not in a position to bargain.
Okay, but remember, you say go and I go. From that point on, you're on the hook to pay my fee. No turning back, no refunds. Are we square on this?
I don't see what choice I have. I need that information.
Good. I'll be in touch.
The screen goes black. Moments later, the machine reboots. The colorful sprites that you saw when you first approached the arcade cabinet return. There is nothing more to see here. Alice is gone.
Back to the hideout.
But you know what? I think we'll have to talk to Paul next time on Let's Play Shadowrun Dragonfall, the Director's Cut. Till then, I've been the Arcane Rogue, and as always, I hope you have a wonderful day.